Man, this sounds like Chewbacca. Like, nah. I was like, yeah, that was definitely the worst Chewbacca impression anyone's ever done. Welcome to another episode of Let's Rewatch, the show where we like to watch movies we loved in our youth and see if they're actually still any good. I'm Nick. I'm Bret.
I'm Sam.
Boop, boop, boop. I'm Ash. What are you doing?
Am I on a show with robots?
What's happening?
Are you thinking that we're watching RoboCop? Because we're not. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh, RoboCop Academy. It's just someone.
I can see the movie
flashing their
now.
hard drives.
Some human trying to get into RoboCop Academy, and they're like, "We don't let humans in here, but I can do anything robots can do."
But you're all human. You're supposed to be half human, half cop. So, yeah, I guess the cat's out of the bag. We're going to be watching Police Academy. Before we jump into Police Academy, I wanted to do something that's not really tied into Police Academy, but tied into some of the stuff we've been talking about. Luna from Twitter sent a link to AFI's top 100 quotes, movie quotes.
Ooh.
Because recently we were kind of falling down this rabbit hole with the Top Gun episode of like,
You complete me.
and like, not quite nailing
Show me the money.
So I thought it might be fun. I have not read ahead. So I'm going to start with the first 5 and then I'll pass the phone around.
Oh, are we like guessing the movie?
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a quote and you're going to tell me what movie it came from. So number 1, I don't think the difficulty changes with the ranking. It's just the popularity. Although maybe that does affect difficulty.
Yeah.
Should we guess what the quote is, or we have to guess the movie that the quote came from?
Well, he's going to read the quote.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you a movie and expect you to.
What's the quote?
No, I thought-
What's the famous quote from this movie?
No, I thought you were going to say, what's the number 1 most popular movie quote?
Oh.
And I was going to be like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, or like, I don't know.
That's it.
You just nailed the number 1 quote.
Look at me go!
Wow. And from what movie?
It's from Gone with the Wind.
Wow. Well done.
That was crazy.
Sure. Well, that's the only one I know, and I'm really bad at movie quotes, so I figure if I know it, it's got to be pretty damn popular.
All right. So second one's going to be pretty easy. I'm going to make an offer you can't refuse.
Oh,
Godfather.
The Waterfront.
No, it's Godfather.
Godfather? Oh, sorry. I was thinking of I could have been a contender. That's The Waterfront.
So number 3 is, you don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am. That was weird.
We're pretty good at this game.
I've heard of like the collection of the most famous movie quotes before.
Oh,
so
you've read ahead.
So
yeah,
you're a
I've never
cheater.
even seen The Waterfront. I just knew that
pretty
was.
good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
And what's
either.
crazy is those two are both Brando. Wow. So number 10 is, you talking to me?
That's Taxi Driver.
Oh, it's Taxi Driver? I was thinking it's the How
I didn't
You
know
Like
if I
Them
should
Apples.
let you try to guess.
I thought it was the one with the How You Like Them Apples. I'm totally blanking on the movie.
Good Will
Oh,
Hunting.
Good Will.
Yes, thank you. I was like, Goodfellas. It's not Goodfellas, but similar.
All right, this one's a challenge. What we've got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, I know.
Sounds like a...
Your voice you did for it sounds like the fucking Lion King.
I'm
like Dr.
I'm trying to do the
Strangelove.
character a little bit.
Oh man, I know you're gonna say the name, and I'm gonna be like,
Yeah. It's the one where he eats all the eggs.
Rocky.
No. That's funny. That's a pretty good guess.
I don't know.
The Egg movie. What's the Egg movie?
My guess would be like Beauty and the Beast. He eats
What?
eggs.
What?
He eats...
Oh, he's like so many dozens of eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
When he
It's
was a
roughly
lad.
the size of a barge.
he ate-
That is from Cool Hand Luke.
Oh, I've never seen
No,
that.
I've never
movie,
seen
actually.
it either.
This one is easy, or should be, Rosebud.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. That's Citizen Kane.
I have not seen that.
Really?
That's
Wow.
we're learning something. We should hit up Citizen Kane for this show.
Ash doesn't like that
You don't
movie.
like Citizen Kane?
I like it for all the important film reasons. I recognize and respect that.
Yeah.
But it's a long, drawn out movie.
I love it. It's like There Will Be Blood. It's like a character piece.
It is. Yeah, There Will Be Blood is a good
You're scrolling a lot, Brett.
Yeah, just
Because these
pick
are so
one.
fucking obvious. All of them.
Read them. Maybe they're not.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans.
and a nice Chianti.
Yeah.
Yeah. You started saying census taker. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
This one's a trick question. Bond. James Bond.
Wow. That would be one of 12 movies.
I mean, in these are all in a row. This is why I'm trying to skip them. There's no place like home.
Home Alone, right?
There's no place like home. Alone.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, yeah.
But
Why am I drawing a blank on it?
I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm trying to blank too.
Not the King's Men. A Few Good Men.
Yes.
Is it? Oh, okay.
You gave me that incorrect look, and then you said
I'm
yes.
doing the thing you did where I'm on the next one, and I was like, was the name.
Yeah.
That's what's making this game awkward. Is I would like look at you for confirmation, and you would look like no.
You guys answered a real obvious one, so I didn't even say correct. I just moved on, and you're like, were we right?
Round up the usual suspects.
Is it?
Casablanca.
Yes. Okay. I was hoping
I was going to say, is it the usual suspect?
I'm pretty sure that's where they got the name from. Like, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is in a different movie whose name I can't think of. But it was a movie about a guy writing a film called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou.
Ah.
That would be a good one. Brett, you have already read this one, but this is a terrible quote. Plastics.
Oh, God.
Please get this.
No, I'm not going to get it.
It's
You gotta tell us.
no shit. That's not the movie I thought.
What is it?
It's The Graduate. But it's spoken by Mr. Maguire, and I was like, are you fucking kidding?
Jake McGuire.
Oh, here's a good one. We'll always have Paris.
That's Casablanca also, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is like 20% Casablanca.
Casablanca.
I skipped some Casablanca quotes too.
I'm 40% Casablanca, baby.
This is the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a good one that you may or may not get, and I'll try to do my best reenactment. Well, nobody's perfect. It's like the last line in the movie.
I do know this. We watched it.
We did.
Fuck no.
It's Some Like It Hot.
Yeah.
Oh.
That reminds me
Something
of,
like that.
do you remember the very last line in Eyes Wide Shut? It's Nicole Kidman. She looks at Tom Cruise and she says, there's something very important that we need to do as soon as possible. And he's like, what? Fuck.
Really?
Yeah, that's how the movie ends.
Wow.
That's awesome. I have two more, and then I think we can call it a day.
Yeah.
It's alive! It's alive!
Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
James Whale, 1931, I think.
It's just called Frankenstein.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah,
then-
the movie's called Frankenstein. Yeah.
Yep. Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, come on. That's from Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
And then here's one that we were just talking about over lunch. You had me at hello.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Maguire.
Yeri Maguire.
Yep. Oh, this
They
is
didn't,
Yeah,
they didn't
Maguire.
write that the first time. It was not just kidding.
I'm falling into this trap of just like I keep making Jerry Maguire references in the descriptions. On
Oh, do
accident.
you?
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's a great movie.
Well, you know what's funny is I've never seen the movie.
It's a great movie.
You've never seen Jerry
I've never
Maguire?
seen Jerry Maguire.
I haven't seen it all the way either.
What everybody thinks I'm going to do, which is go crazy.
There's a quote on here that I didn't know was a movie quote. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, people say that all the time.
Yeah.
But who said it first?
Was that Godfather?
Godfather 2.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So let's talk about a movie that absolutely will not show up on AFI's anything, but something that I loved in my childhood, which was the winner of a poll, a Twitter poll that we posted.
Yeah.
So we're watching Police Academy, which won out over Footloose, Look Who's Talking, and Dragonheart. So I don't know about you guys, but this particular movie is not one that was a big part of my childhood, but all of the sequels were. I feel like I grew up watching all of the sequels.
All of the sequels?
Maybe not all of them, because there were a few.
There are 7.
And so when I think of Police Academy, I think of Bobcat Goldthwait, who is not in this movie.
Oh.
He's in like all the sequels.
Man, that was a roller coaster of a sentence for me because I've never
You're
seen
getting
it, and I
excited
was
about
super
Bobcat?
excited. Yeah.
I haven't seen them either. Any of them.
You've seen no Police Academy movies?
Nope.
You're telling me there's as many Police Academy movies as there are Harry Potter movies? That's
Wow.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Except the last Police Academy movie was not released in 2 parts.
Oh, maybe there's more Harry Potter movies then.
Yeah.
Individual theater seatings. There's more Harry Potters. But yeah, so you haven't seen it, Sam, Brett?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen one of them.
And Ash?
No, I've never, like I said, I've never seen any of them. It's one of those films that multiple people I know have referenced.
Yeah.
And it's just one that I've never seen. This and Airplane. Airplane's another one that I haven't seen.
We need to do Airplane.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Saturday morning cartoon, Police Academy?
No. There's a cartoon?
What?
Yeah. See, this is my childhood right here. So this is one of those like classic 1980s farce movies. Just ridiculous shit.
Okay, cool. Because I don't
to
even
finish.
know what the genre is. Like Police Academy, it could be kind of action adventure, or it could be
It might be like
comedy.
Training Day.
Yeah, I know. I'm really like, until you said that, I had no idea if it was like Training Day or another Wet Hot American Summer type movie. So
So this was from 1984. So in the mid to late 80s was the age of Steve Guttenberg. And it's a little bit sad. Like Guttenberg's still around, but he's not anywhere near what he was in the mid 80s. That was his age, where we had things like Cocoon and Short Circuit.
25.
I remember Short Circuit with the robot.
Yeah, Short Circuit is very high on my list.
We should do that one.
Yeah.
So this is the same director?
No, Steve Guttenberg, the actor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, our main
I don't
actor.
know if I know who that is.
He was one of the 3 men with a baby.
Oh, okay.
Now we remember. He's not Tan Danson, he's not Tom Selleck, and he's not the ghost hiding in the corner. But I think he kind of started with Diner in 1982. And then those big movies that I just mentioned. And then after 87, he kind of stopped being our main guy, which is unfortunate. I remember when I was a kid, I had an idea I was talking to a friend of mine about that I wanted to do a video game called Gutenberg 64, where you would play through different levels and each level would be a Steve Guttenberg movie. So it'd be like the Cocoon level and the Short Circuit level.
I love that idea.
Yeah, I really want Gutenberg 64.
yep.
We've also got Michael Winslow, who you may remember as the guy who makes crazy sounds with his voice, who you've also seen as the radar operator in Spaceballs.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That was why I was making funny sounds in the intro.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
you did it so well.
You were so lifelike. We just couldn't tell.
And we've got Kim Cattrall, who is probably best known from Sex and the City.
Really? She's in this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
And I had to actually ask Ash, have we done Big Trouble in Little China?
No.
Which
No.
we haven't, but Ash and I saw it at a party 2 years ago, so it's fairly fresh in my mind.
Oh.
And of course, she was in Star Trek 6 as well.
Was she?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was Savick in Star Trek 6.
She's pretty awesome in Sex in the City.
Is she?
Yeah.
Which one is she in?
She's the one that likes to have sex all the time. And
Where does she have the
Samantha,
sex? Is it in the city?
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, do I need to explain to you
Where do
how
you
this
have
works?
the sex? Please explain.
That's funny. But did you guys ever see this clip that was going around from the dating game back in the 70s
Oh my God.
or 80s?
Yeah.
No.
And I don't know why they ever would have had this question. No, it was the Newlywed Game. And the question is, where is the craziest place you've had sex? And this girl actually answered in the butt. It's like, that's not what we were talking
Honey. Oh, honey.
about. And then David Graf is in that, who's definitely one of those guys who you'll probably recognize. He's just in a lot of TV shows that you've seen. Do you remember the episode of Star Trek Voyager where they found who's the pilot who disappeared?
Oh, Amelia.
Amelia Earhart. So he was Fred Noonan. And so you've seen him in a lot of Star Trek, but a lot of other TV.
All right.
So you may recognize him when you see him. And so our director is Hugh Wilson, who I hadn't really known of, but he's done some movies we know. He did a few episodes of WKRP back in the 70s, but he directed Blast from the Past and Dudley Do-Right.
Oh, wow.
So he was hanging with our boy Fraser for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then a few other things that you may have heard of. So one of those kind of low-key directors who has been around, but you may not really recognize. So what are we expecting out of this?
I'll start it off since I was the one who suggested it for the poll.
Yeah.
Are you regretting that decision?
I literally only remember Michael Winslow just making fucking crazy ass sounds.
Okay.
And like that's all I need to see and I'm good. Like
Okay.
that's all I want out of this is just some quality Michael Winslow noise.
Okay. I think you're going to get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure if you're setting the bar high or low right now.
What I'm hoping is that this is like a solidly Michael Winslow movie and not like the one where they're exploring all the characters and he gets like a moment, but like they really don't write him in a lot until the second one because that's going to be super disappointing.
Oh, Nick's face. Oh.
We'll see.
You grimacing bastard.
So, Sam, you probably don't have a hell of a lot of expectations on this.
No,
thing.
I think what I said earlier pretty much summed it up. I have so very little knowledge about this movie.
Do you have any opinion of Steve Guttenberg?
I don't remember what he looks like.
I just pulled him up if you want to see, and then
Yes.
then I was like, oh yeah, that guy.
Oh,
Yeah. Now that
Yeah.
you see his face.
I don't know if I have an
I
opinion.
still
of
have
him.
no opinion of Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah, I
If
recognize his
Steve
face.
Guttenberg was sitting in the room right now, you would have no opinion.
I don't dislike him. I don't think that
Okay,
he's like
Switzerland.
amazing. Yeah, I'm Switzerland on it, totally. So I don't know. The closest thing I have to any opinion on this movie beforehand is that I would drive by the LA Police Academy every day on my way to work. And it would remind me of the movie that I knew nothing about.
Okay.
So
They've got to get a lot of people driving by going, "Yo, Mahoney!"
I'm sure that's a funny line from the movie that we'll laugh
yeah,
at later.
we'll
It's
get
not
that.
a particular line. It's just probably like people throw out characters at like, "Hey, is Tackleberry there?"
Well, in due time. Too bad it's not on my commute anymore.
Yeah.
Too bad, really? Too bad.
No, that was not a serious statement.
Do you have any expectations, Ash?
Despite never seeing the film, I did watch the trailer when it won the poll, just because I like to see what we're getting ourselves
Trying to
into.
decide if you need to veto it.
Yeah. And I was pleasantly I didn't watch the full trailer because I don't like watching the full trailer because they give stuff away. So I just watched like a good 30 seconds and I was laughing during the trailer. So
Okay.
I'm pretty excited. The only expectations I have is that there was some pretty good physical humor. But the thing that just keeps coming to mind is Hot Fuzz, because the beginning of Hot Fuzz is them
Interesting.
like going through police academy. So I'm curious to see how much it maybe Hot Fuzz borrowed
Interesting.
from this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if it was an inspiration at all.
Yeah, because like that was, I could see someone seeing that concept, and well, I guess, yeah, never mind. Cut that line.
Well, I feel like we've got a lot of listeners who might be disappointed in everybody's expectations or lack thereof, because a lot of people voted for this.
Clearly, yeah,
You said it won significantly.
by a landslide. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember why I remember Michael Winslow so much. He came to our elementary school
Wait,
What?
and
what?
made
Dude.
crazy noises.
Whoa.
That would have been the best day ever. But the worst day for the teachers. Because after that assembly, you've just got all these kids trying to make helicopter noises and
Yes.
yeah.
So it won. It was 42%.
I thought you were going to say
voted.
it won the Academy Award.
No, it won the Police Academy Award. It won 42%, and it was a total of 64 votes. So that's
Whoa.
around 30 people voting for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So our listeners definitely want to hear us talk
Yeah.
about this movie. I am excited because I definitely enjoyed the sequels growing up. And I think it'd be fun to go back and see where it all began. The genesis of the Academy.
And it's like from an era of like a lot of really great slapstick style movies.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, think Real Genius and Weird Science.
Oh, we should do Weird Science.
Even more for the list. Cool. So, yeah, I think we're going to have fun. So, we're going to watch Police Academy. So, at this point, you might want to pause the podcast, check out Police Academy, and join us when you're done.
Totes my goats.
Right?
I thought she was going to sing the credit song.
I was.
I want to be somebody.
I don't know what
That's
the
all you
words-
remember?
I don't know the words to any of this.
Lethal weapon. So we just watched Police Academy, and I think we should address the elephant in the room. That movie took a lot from Top Gun.
Please
Right.
explain.
It was just about people going to school, and there was absolutely no conflict until they manufactured a completely artificial conflict at the end
With an apple.
Yeah.
that we probably should have seen in the news if it were real.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they would. If it was real, I don't think they'd be sending cadets out for sure. Like,
Sure. Wait, I don't understand your argument. Are you questioning the reality of the scenario?
no, I'm making an argument for your argument.
Okay.
I'm saying it's absurd.
Yes. This movie is absurd.
yes. This movie was made by I want to imagine two different writers. One was like, let's write a movie about people going to police academy and proving themselves. And then the other one was just like, yeah, and don't forget the blowjobs under the podium.
Yeah, one of them had just seen Porky's and had a life-changing experience in the theater. So yeah, I think this is kind of a bad movie.
Really interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I think plot wise, absolutely. There's like no plot, but I thought it was pretty funny. I was actually really
It was very
surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it. There were a lot. It felt like one of those movies where it's like, here's a bunch of really great gags. Let's try to string them together.
Which I think the Zucker brothers do a lot better, like Airplane and Naked Gun. Like, it works a lot better in other movies. It was really funny. It is weird to see the just normal racism and homophobia in 1984.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, it was just standard.
Well,
I-
and it was weird that the movie got, I think you said, Sam, you're like, whoa, it just got really serious all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was kind of on board, like, oh, it's a stupid throwaway movie until the scene with the racial slur and the cop car. And I was like, oh, so somebody speaks out about a cop being wrong and abusive and racist, and then they get let go.
I did
like,
not even know what that slur was.
I don't know
didn't
either. But it
I
just
just assumed.
It
'cause
didn't
they
sound
all
like nice.
looked back at him.
I've heard it before.
Oh, okay.
It probably not since the 80s.
Oh,
That movie put an end to it.
But it's like, what was the point of that joke? Like,
Well, I think, I mean, plot-wise, yes, I guess there was a plot thing in this movie. They had to get Hightower busted out.
yeah,
I think
but why
also
not?
it was to make you like him.
Yeah.
You know, because up until that point, he was just another one of the background characters.
I mean, he had a bunch of little bits, and I thought he was funny. But, like, why not bust him for something that he actually did wrong? Like, running away from the cops? Like,
Stealing a car.
stealing a car? Like,
I think it supports that our cadets are good and our teachers are bad.
Yeah, I was trying to reinforce that he's the good guy, is what I think it was doing.
I guess, but wasn't it one of the cadets that said the thing.
Right, but that was one of the cadets that was in league with Harris.
Yeah.
But what really is it's hard to critique a movie because this was just so standard in 1984. We've just kind of forgotten about it. But we're left at the end of this movie with, the bad people were racist. They were bad. That's bad. They were punished for it. But homophobia was standard. And if somebody was gay, it was just, that is completely fine to be the butt of the joke.
Though I thought, and I don't, correct me, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was kind of refreshing to see the gay people, like, in the club.
Oh, in the Blue Oyster Bar?
In the Blue Oyster Club. Like, they weren't the butt of the joke. The other people were the butt
And how
of the joke.
uncomfortable
That
they
one
were.
scene,
I agree.
Yeah,
I
like-
agree.
But it was also like, these people don't understand how a gay bar works at all.
True, but also the movies about a
Yeah,
police
it's a
academy that doesn't
ridiculous
fun.
movie.
But they weren't trying to highlight gay people as like, aha, look how weird that is. It was more like,
Yeah.
oh, these guys are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it's like at the end, when Commandant Lassard sees Mahoney kissing a woman,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, okay, you're all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was like,
That part was.
wow, 1984.
or
you were a different time.
Hightower wanting the driving lessons, and Mahoney goes, sleep is for fags. And it's just like, dang.
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Totally.
I
I
didn't,
And I
didn't
was like-
hear that. I missed it.
And that was probably just like a throwaway at the time, but like
Yes,
that's just
the
shocking
thing.
to hear now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Or like the like just over the top. Oh yeah, this is what women do at a party. They just take their tops off.
Yeah.
Sure, all
Yep.
of them just start taking
Although
their tops
what was
off.
really enjoyable about that was seeing Tackleberry like not
Yes.
being able to control, like he was having
was-
a complete meltdown.
It was still done pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my favorite line in the whole movie was not even spoken out loud. It was Mahoney's T-shirt, one in the oven.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
so good.
that
yep.
was brilliant.
See, there was
And those
like
shorts.
surprising things like that in the movie that I wasn't expecting. That just I laughed out loud.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'm now super curious to watch the sequels because I
Me
feel
too.
like I have a memory of them being higher quality. Like this movie did feel very amateur and thrown together and lacked focus. And I mean, I haven't seen them since the 80s, but I feel like the sequels were more focused.
Now, let me hit you with, I remember not this movie. This is definitely not the one that I had seen. The one I'm thinking of has, much higher quality, all jokes, so much less plot.
Interesting.
Less plot,
Yeah.
even less than this.
They're just
There
running
was like
around.
hardly any plot.
But at least like the whole movie is tied into like Mahoney's forced to be at the place plot, you know?
I guess, but he had like, there was like no, like they were trying to say his motive was to get kicked out, but then he couldn't get kicked out, and then I don't know, like he didn't have any motivation or stakes. It felt like
I think he did, but it was very weak. It
Yeah.
was very flimsy.
I
It was
mean-
paper thin.
it was like eventually he wanted to stay just because the girl was there. I guess.
That or like
Have you
sometimes
seen the 80s?
it felt like his motivation was just like, I don't want to be here, but like I also don't want to suck.
Yeah.
Like that's all it took for him to like try occasionally.
Have any of you seen the original movie MASH? And it's the one that came before the series, the TV series. I
I've never
believe.
seen it.
No.
This movie kind of reminded me of the original movie MASH. And if anyone listening has seen it, they might remember that the movie feels very like this, where there's a very loose, weak plot, and then there's just like a bunch of scenes. And it ends with this really weird like football scene where they're like playing football that doesn't feel like it ties into the rest of the movie at all. And it's kind of like this, where it's like this riot scene it just felt like they needed a big climactic ending.
Just like the MiGs attacking that ship in distress in Top Gun. It's like, well, we just need some conflict at the
But
end.
at least that made like a little bit more sense because that's what they were like training to do, I
Totally.
guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could make the argument that police are training to deal with a
Stop
riot, but
crimes,
like
yeah.
the amount of times that comes up is very slim. It just felt kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Paper thin.
Well, and it felt a little tonally confused with like the very wet hot American summer. Whoever said that,
It was Sam.
the starting a riot by throwing an apple.
Yeah.
And then
And I don't know if
it
you
turned
noticed, but
into-
in the middle of the riot, like the whole like sort of Ruth Goldberg machine-esque thing of the riot starting, there was another dude with an apple that then threw and hit something else. Like there were several apples.
yeah, just
Yeah.
a big apple fight. But then they immediately flipped that into like a hostage situation.
Yeah. I mean, it felt very wet, hot American summer with a touch of Anchorman.
Okay, yeah. But both of those being more focused than
Yeah,
how
totally.
sloppy this was. I need you guys to help me, and if you don't know, somebody on Twitter has to help me out. There's a movie where I can't think of it, but the guy is asking the girl, "How did you learn English?" And she says, "From blah, 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 and the Police Academy movies." Huh. Do you have any? It's haunting me.
That sounds like a great stupid question for Google. Grab the Google.
Yeah, if Google can't answer it, I need Twitter to help us out.
Brett, you can't just grab the Google inappropriately.
What's the movie where they say, "Where did you learn English?" and it's from somewhere, and the Police Academy movies?
That's not going to work.
Yeah, there's no way.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Yes.
That is one we have to do.
Which explains it. I didn't want to say it because it seemed ridiculous, but I kind of felt like Mike Myers was the guy in the scene, and it totally was.
Oh, wow.
Wow, yeah. But I now I can't remember what else she said. It was something and the Police Academy movies.
Well, now you're going to have to watch the movie to find out.
We should watch Wayne's World on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, excellent.
Party on.
So did Google find it?
Yeah, it was just farther down the list. It wasn't the top answer, but
Wow. All right, Google. Well done.
Can we talk about how the main character of this movie looked like Dennis from It's Always Sunny?
Oh my God.
Like, really? Especially in the cutoff shorts.
Yeah.
And can we also talk about how I'd really like It's Always Sunny to remake this movie? You know how they did their little remake of Lethal Weapon?
Yeah.
Can you imagine this movie with them in it?
I could see that, yeah. We see a lot of movies that would work better as an episode.
As an
of Sunny.
episode of It's Always Sunny. But seriously, who do you think Danny DeVito would be in this movie?
One of the police officers.
Yeah, could he be
Well, they're
Harris?
all police officers.
No, there's trainees, and then there's actual police officers.
Yeah, I think he would be Lieutenant Harris.
Harris.
Yeah.
plot twist. Dennis is the only real person, and Charlie and Mac and Dee and Frank are all his imagination.
Yeah, what are you
Why?
That's how this movie works.
Brett has come unhinged.
Yeah.
He's just there, and in his head, he's hearing like,
Well,
Dennis.
think about it though. The dude who's like super gung ho, that like was upset that he missed the gunfight, would totally be Mac, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
very
Dee
mad.
would be like the hot bitchy
Yeah, she would.
instructor.
Yeah.
Like it works.
I'm trying to place Charlie.
Oh shit, Charlie.
And he could just be Charlie in Police Academy.
Just wherever.
Like, we don't need to turn him into another character.
Yeah.
That would make this movie so much better if Charlie.
Charlie's the
were one of the
prostitute.
cadets.
Charlie's Michael Winslow.
I guess that's the closest. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it would be just like, what the fuck are you doing, Charlie? And he's like,
He's trying to make noises. Wow. But there is something really endearing about he's like the asshole, I don't care main character, but he's really nice
yeah.
and he's helping everybody. There's
Yeah.
something really endearing about that character.
Like when he takes the fall for the other guy who stood up for him.
and teaches Hightower how to drive. And
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me of Jeremy Piven in PCU. Like,
never
I
seen
don't
that.
care, but I'm always going to help everybody. Yeah.
He just needed
It's a
more
fun character.
motivation though. Like there was no stakes for like I didn't know what his goal was.
I see your point, but I think you might be trying to apply too much structure to a movie like this.
Right. I'm just saying, that's the faults. Was
Yeah.
all.
the premise was ridiculous. Anyway, go
Yeah.
to police academy or go to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty flawed construction there.
I mean, the whole premise of the city mayor being like, it doesn't matter who you are, you can be
Right.
a police officer.
And shouldn't we have the mayor as a character in this movie?
I know. I would have liked to see
was
her
weird.
eventually.
Yeah.
It was a little weird.
I just remembered when they were looking at all the cadets and They back in the day when we had cadets, they used to be the right color, and they had Johnsons as far as the eye could see.
Oh.
Wow.
I do think that Brooklyn Nine-Nine got a lot of inspiration from this movie,
so?
particularly with the two buzzed head cops. They
Okay.
were totally Hitchcock and Scully, like in their youth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were saying Hitchcock and Scully, and I didn't remember who that was.
If you remove the malice from the character in the movies, they're Hitchcock and Scully. Like, hey, I brought my gym socks for you.
Yeah.
And, Sandberg is very much like Mahoney.
Yeah.
And again, he's like super nice, but he doesn't care, and he's,
Yeah.
he's a screw up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe Brooklyn Nine-Nine is Police Academy 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bret, how satisfied are you with the Michael Winslow representation in this movie?
I got a kick out of every time he was on screen.
There was more
like-
than I was expecting.
Yeah, there was quite a bit. I thought we were going to get like the beginning, and then like we got a couple, and I was like, I guess that's the end of him. But he kept coming back, and he saved the day, like Ash said about the.
Yeah, they used his talents to actually save the day when he like made the bullet sounds, like the gun sounds.
I actually thought he would have done more of that. I was surprised it was so little.
But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I think he's still my favorite part of the movie, just because
Totally.
every one of his scenes was like a guaranteed laugh, and it wasn't offensive.
How does this movie go on to have 7 more films? Didn't they graduate? Like,
Well,
what,
yeah, like
what happens?
immediately, I think the next movie they're just regular cops.
So it's just the name, but
Yeah.
they're not really.
Or they're training new
Yeah, I
cadets.
think they're training new people.
And there's one where they're like, it was called Citizens on Patrol. So like somehow they're getting regular people to help out. I don't remember. It's ridiculous.
Not citizen's arrest.
Something like that.
This whole movie kind of feels like a weird, like, writer's joke on political correctness.
Yeah.
Because of the setup of it. It's just like, female mayor makes a decision that
Right.
was obviously bad. And, like, here's the movie that happens because of it. And, like, it was a weird premise to set it up with. And then they tried to make it a
They followed
more
through.
appealing movie. But yeah.
So you think it's ridiculous that this movie had 6 sequels? This movie had a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, how?
How was this appropriate for
This
children?
movie.
For
How?
like for kids? Or was it like
Oh, yeah.
Adult Swim in the morning?
No, it was definitely eating your sugary breakfast cereal, watching the Saturday mornings.
Weird.
No doubt.
That's
And
so
it's like-
weird.
Yeah.
It's like the same characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely Mahoney. Definitely Tackleberry. Definitely Commandant Lassard.
Man, the 80s were a different time.
Yeah. I had a RoboCop action figure.
Wow.
And going back, like, why were kids playing with RoboCop?
Yeah.
That was a very violent movie.
That is not a kid. They're like, aren't they like snorting coke and shit in that movie? And
Yeah.
As soon as like Terminator was on VHS, my dad was like, Brett, 5-year-old Brett, check out this fucking movie. It's rad.
I remember my uncle by marriage making me watch The Shining way too young.
Oh.
And I think my parents are not thrilled about that.
my dad in middle school was like, here's Rocky Horror Picture Show. Have fun.
Wow.
I mean, middle school. I don't know.
Really?
That's when all you like learn all the bad shit. Is in middle school.
So when you're discovering things.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. I guess I've never finished it. Maybe I should.
You've never
finished it?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you're so surprised. It's not a good movie.
yes, it is.
You don't like sit at home and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I did.
Well, you've
I
got
actually
issues.
watched it at your home
Oh yeah,
with you
maybe.
on Halloween, but I had to go
Probably.
home early, so that's why I couldn't finish it.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no value in that movie aside from the theater showings.
Tim Curry.
yeah. I think Tim Curry adds a lot of value.
Okay. I don't think the people who do the live theater shows would even argue it's a good movie.
I think you're very wrong. I think people who are fans of that movie really like that movie.
Fair enough.
We know at least one person who's in that life. They're like,
Living the life, man.
yeah, they're like Rocky Horror 24/7.
Youch.
I mean, I think you could make an argument that the film was important because it, at a time when it wasn't really voiced, it was voicing sexual freedom. And that's kind of the message of the film is sexual. It's just framed in this really goofy. See, now I can't talk too much more because she's never finished it, but
Spoilers for Rocky Horror.
Spoilers.
Please just talk about it.
It ends with aliens.
They're aliens? Maybe it's best that I didn't finish it.
It's the least surprising thing that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Is that why they're able to do the time warp?
Maybe.
Again.
And again. And again. Anyway, let's talk about Police Academy.
Bring us back in, Nick.
So, yeah, I don't know if I've got much to say. I mean, watching this makes me want to watch Airplane or Top Secret or Naked Gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, this was fun. There's more fun to be had in other movies like this.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agree.
See, I'll give Airplane another shot. I mean, not another shot, like I didn't like it the first time, but I feel like on the other end of that, like watching this made me realize why we stopped making movies like this.
They had their time.
Yeah,
We evolved.
I don't know, though. I would argue that a lot of comedy films nowadays are still
Like The Hangover is from this lineage.
like, yeah, there's a lot of comedy films that are just like improv scenes that, like there's
Anchorman
not
2.
That's what I was...
That is
Yeah.
some sloppy shit.
I haven't seen Anchorman 2, but it did feel very Anchorman to me.
Yeah.
Anchorman was a little more structured, but it kind of felt like the modern version of this film. Like a bunch of people doing an important job who are totally not competent, and like stupid shit happens, and non sequiturs.
I think Anchorman 2 is like really messy. Kind of like I think Hangover 2. Like, we've got some gags. Can you guys improv a story out of this?
Nope.
Yeah. The answer is no.
Yeah.
I think I meant more of like the Porky's side of it,
I've not seen that.
It's even though a lot of the modern improv stuff, it still has this kind of wackadoodle, unguided feel. There's a lot less like offensive nudity. Weird people. I guess it's the weird people thing where like, if there's nudity, they at least try to fucking write it in and not just like, I'm standing outside the women's showers.
Yeah.
Like, that is very Porky's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Porky's mentality.
Or a lot less like, I feel like there was even casual like being okay with sexual assault. Like, basically that captain dude got sexually assaulted under the podium.
That whole sequence, I cannot
that's
even
where
deal
they
with
went
that
a little
sequence.
too far.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's just juvenile comedy going like way too far.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense. Like,
I do think it was kind of funny though that he hired the same hooker to come do it to him at the end.
but it's based on this assumption that here's a prostitute who will not be satisfied until she performs some sex act. I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. It's weird.
The ending of the movie also implies that the guy actually did eventually talk to everyone about it and then found out what happened.
Right.
Which is like an awkward conversation that should have been in the movie, actually.
I didn't think about that. You're right. He like went around and found out.
Don't put too much thought into these.
Yeah. Because then the end wouldn't make sense when he's like surprised that he's kissing a girl.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
know.
Yeah, so the other reason I very much want to watch some of the sequels is I feel like Bobcat Goldthwait brought a layer to this that made it even more fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I went in with pretty low expectations.
Yeah.
And despite the obvious flaws of no plot, I thought it was actually really funny and I really enjoyed it. And I'm really curious to watch the other ones now.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought there were a lot of really good gags in there. If you're just looking for something to laugh at, it's pretty funny.
And it's, I mean, very, very much in its time and place.
I just felt like it was a lot funnier than I expected. You know, there's movies like, I mean, I haven't really seen Caddyshack. I've like only seen a little bit of it, but there's movies like that where people are like, it's so funny. And I watch it and I'm like, you know, I feel like these jokes are a little dated. And this felt like wearing the one in the oven shirt. Like that totally felt like a joke that you'd see today.
Yeah. It does make me kind of want to go back and watch, I can't remember which one, but like the American Pie series.
I've never seen those.
I've never seen them either. I've seen like bits and pieces on TV, but I feel like that would be a little more contemporary version of this.
I think
could
you're
see
right.
that,
Yeah. That's interesting that you haven't seen them.
Yeah, because that's definitely in the same vein, and even with the weird sexual humor that sometimes isn't okay. I think there was.
Yeah, that was kind of why I avoided those movies. Was for that reason, that there was weird. I just knew that there was weird sexual humor, and I was like, good.
No thanks.
No thanks. Like, doesn't he fuck a pie in the?
Yeah,
because it's warm.
Kind of the whole point.
Because it's warm.
Yeah, somebody tells him that.
God, I wish the podcast had images a little bit, because that was a good face you just made there.
Horrified.
I find myself starting to explain that concept and thinking, I don't want to actually say that out loud.
No. Don't, please. So, Sam, what did you think?
I'll give it a C. Maybe minus. I gotta think on this.
Yeah.
It had funny bits, funny gags, and I don't think those outweighed the kind of datedness and uncouthness of some of their jokes.
Yeah.
Would have liked to have seen more structure. Or if they kept it that unstructured, then there needed to be like a million gags, you know, where you're just like, all every second.
I think that would have helped if it was more dense in the comedy.
I don't know. I think we were laughing a lot.
Yeah.
We laughed through the whole movie. I mean, how often have you gone to see a comedy nowadays and laughed that much?
I mean, comedies are pretty rare, but I don't know. I feel like they needed one or the other, like the structure to keep us through during the bits where there wasn't a ton of comedy,
Definitely.
or just like a bunch of jokes to get us through the fact that there's no plot.
For me, this movie is like, full of jokes that were objectively funny, but much in the same way as we all laughed at Borat. I never ever want to see another one of these movies.
Yeah.
I've absorbed that comedy. I enjoyed it, and but like the movie sucked. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't want to watch like
I'm good. I had a good time, but I'm good.
yeah. I'd rather find that comedy elsewhere, like possibly an Airplane, because Airplane I recall being funny 100% all the way through, and that isn't even one of the memories I had about this. And well, that's what it ended up being, was like funny, but like there was a lot of other stuff in there.
I just remembered the bit. Is that your goldfish? No, belongs to a friend.
There was just like little things like that
so
just
much.
were so great. I think there was a lot of
It's a
really
really-
good, funny gags
Yeah, great gags.
Yeah.
that were in there. I think I just went in with such low expectation that it like far exceeded what I was expecting.
I think I wasn't expecting it to feel as dated. I think I was expecting it to be more of like an early 90s film.
Oh,
than
see, I was
like a mid
expecting-
80s.
You were wrong.
I was expecting
Yeah.
more dated than
Gotcha.
this. I thought it was going to be even more like rough.
Gotcha. I mean, I must obviously be thinking about one of the sequels. If there's 7, they've got to span at least
The last
into the
one was
early 90s.
93.
Whoa. It's
Wow.
like one a year. Jeez.
Yeah, so I guess my final feelings are that it was really funny. I'm not like excited to watch it ever again. It was very flimsy, but I do see it as the building blocks of things that would come after it.
Totally.
Yeah, I think a lot of the comedy that we like, people watched and enjoyed these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we really get your final thoughts, Ash?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're good?
Yeah, I already said them. We did
Okay.
Brett, then we did me, then we did Sam, then we did Brett, then we did you. We've all done them.
Let's do me again. What? No. So yeah, I guess it feels like we're kind of light on this one, but
There's not much to say.
There's not much to say about
There's-
Police Academy.
I mean, the only other thing, if you want to just, I just don't know that there's much. What's my bobcat? Is the scene transitions were like super rough. Like
they
would
did do
either
the spin transition effect a few times.
like almost every scene transition was either that or we would just like hard cut to the next scene and it just didn't feel smoothed out. Like they needed transitions and it just felt like a bunch of scenes at times that were just one right after the other,
Yeah.
That didn't have any context to them.
And sometimes felt like they were in a very weird order. It's like, weren't we just dealing with Hightower's thing? Now it's the klutzy guy on patrol, and it's like, wait, this all seems
sometimes
very
they
out
cut
of
back
order.
and forth.
Like, didn't we already deal with the day they were on patrol?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, there's not much else to say besides that.
So, did Police Academy hold up? Not so much, but it's not a complete waste of time.
We were talking about Some Like It Hot earlier.
Oh, that was one of the quotes in the beginning.
That was one of the quotes in the beginning. I feel like that was a much older movie with a lot more open-mindedness. It was also a comedy.
Yeah.
Something Like It Hot is fantastic.
Yeah.
Jack Lemmon.
Yep. I would love to watch it again because it's been a while.
I've never seen it.
And it's Jack Lemmon doing his Cary Grant impression, right?
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds
It's
fun.
so good. Really good. And Marilyn Monroe is actually like phenomenal in the film. Like she doesn't get the credit as being a great actress very often, but she's actually pretty amazing.
But it's also got a lot of goofiness, kind of like this. Not quite as
It's a different type of
non-sequitur.
comedy, yeah. It's situational comedy, which this is kind of a situational comedy too, but this is more like absurdist.
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Yeah. A Jack Lemmon movie must be more grounded than
It is.
this
Yeah.
thing.
And
what we
there's a
just saw.
lot of plot. in that
Okay.
movie.
Yes.
Some like it plot. No, that
Hey,
doesn't work.
that's a good podcast name. Trademark.
Some like it plot.
If you say it 3 times, it's not like Beetlejuice. You don't get a trademark.
Trademark. Ding. Hi, Trademark Fairy.
All right, so I think we're done here. What's our closing?
Yeah, if you like the show, this is part of the Last Dash TV network of content. It's a podcast and a YouTube channel with a drinking show and a cooking show and lots of video game parodies and other fun things.
Yes, and if you want, you can.
Yes, and
You can follow us on Twitter. We're at LaughStash.TV, or you can follow this podcast. We're at Let's Rewatch. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been tweeting at us and voting in the polls, because we will post polls for you guys to pick movies for us to watch too. So, and always feel free to send suggestions our way.
and we can all relax because somebody else decided on this movie.
Yeah.
You, the listeners, chose this for
You
us.
chose this. Well, I'll thank you guys for choosing it. I enjoyed it. Sounds like I enjoyed it more than everyone else. So I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
It's not a good movie.
Okay.
That.
Agreed.
It can be both.
Yeah.
If you liked our podcast, please give us a review on iTunes or Google Play Music.
You sound so enthusiastic, Sam.
Okay, I'll redo that.
5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars.
Yeah. If you loved our podcast, please give us a review on Google Play Music or iTunes. We appreciate your feedback.
You almost walk in that. If you like the show. So make sure your podcast subscriptions are up to date and let your friends know we'll be doing this again in another 2 weeks.
Wait, next time can we like do all these in accents? Different.
Is
Anyway.
walk in an accent?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a state of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a state of mind.
Continuing with our theme of inappropriate sexual humor, next week we're going to watch The Man with the Smallest Penis in Existence and the Electron Microscope Technician Who Loved Him.
I think I got exactly the right amount of joy from just hearing the title. I don't need to see the rest of the movie.